Hello and welcome to the Studio Nora Podcast. If you're new here, my name is Nora, and I am a knitter and sewist and usually creative person based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Welcome. Or if you've been here before, welcome back. Very happy to have you here again. As you might notice, we're yet again in a different spot. Last time we were shooting from the couch, but with a growing belly that's getting kind of uncomfortable to be scrunched up on a couch like that. So I've moved to the chair and our humongous jungle plant. I hope the sound is okay. Usually I record on Sunday mornings when nobody's awake yet, but Sunday's a long way away because it is Wednesday today, and I really wanted to record. Actually, I really wanted to record last weekend, but I completely lost my voice. Like it was gone. I could whisper, that was it. It was very problematic because I'm a teacher by trade, and as a teacher you need your voice. So I actually had to call in sick for a day and a half because there was no sound coming out. Today I have for you, my notes are right here, several finished objects. Not all of them I can show you because one is already gifted. I have some works in progress. I have some updates about me and some things I'm working on, and I have lots of plans. I hope you have something to keep you warm, whether that is some warm coffee or tea, or a nice shawl, or a sweater, something to keep you occupied, which could be just watching me, but I always really like to think that people kind of have me on as a friend while they're knitting or sewing or doing something else. So let's go. Before we jump into finished objects, I want to show you what I'm wearing. I don't think I've shown you this before. This is the Varde shawl from 52 Weeks of Shawls, and I've knitted in light worsted lamb's wool, hand dyed, naturally dyed by Studio Nora, of course, and I'll just show you the texture. So it's this moss stitch, and then there's columns, or I guess rows. I'm never quite sure if that's a column or that's the columns. Pretty sure. Of kind of like a Passover stitch with a tiny eyelet that you can't really see. But what I really like about it, it's like crescent shaped, and if you put it on, then it has this like little poof up on the neck, which keeps your neck nice and warm. And if I wear it as like a scarf, I'll do this because it's so warm, and I'll just have it like this with my coat that doesn't currently close, but details. So yeah, I really like it. It's not soft, as in not scratchy, but the scratch doesn't bother me at all. So that's what I'm wearing. Otherwise, I'm just wearing maternity jeans. If you didn't know, I am pregnant, currently 31 weeks and a bit. But actually there's not a lot of baby stuff in this episode, which is nice for a change. All right. my first finished object of the day is something that is a new craft for me. And of course, now I want all the tools to keep doing this craft because I did a workshop with 2 of my friends and we went to Monsak, which is a handbag making studio here in Amsterdam, and they do 2 things. They make leather handbags, custom leather handbags, or they do workshops in which you can choose from several designs. So you can make crossbody bags, little purses, shoppers, and their whole thing is that they only used rescued leather. So that's second grade leather, leather that's dead stock, so when there's too much of it, or there's scars on the leather that commercial companies would not use because it's not economical for them, I guess. And they buy it up and they make beautiful things with them. And yeah, so we did a workshop there. It was quite pricey, but it was totally worth the price because now I have the perfect handbag, and I'll show you the perfect handbag. I'll start with the zips closed. So this is the front of the handbag, and then there's the sides, and then that's the back and the bottom. And what's really cool about it, it's got these 2 zippers. So there's 2 compartments that are attached, and then in the middle they're connected with a little click thing, and then I don't know what's in here actually because it's just my bag right now. Take this out. The front pouch has this little inner pocket, and the way it's attached is really funny because when you sew down the inner pocket, you also sew down the outer second compartment. Yeah, and it's just really nice. It has this long handle, and what I really like about this workshop is you can choose. So you cannot choose the exact measurements because you kind of pick a design and that's the one you're gonna make. But you get to pick all of the leather choices. So my friend Marlijn, she made a black bag, and then she played around with it. Was all the same color, but she played around with the inside and the outside of the leather, because of course the inside of the leather, or the other side of the leather, is like suede-ish, and the outside is smooth. So I went for I guess this is cognac with teal accents. I actually was thinking about it quite a lot before I went because I was afraid that the choice was going to be too much. So I thought a lot about it beforehand. And my other friend Inger, she made a red bag, and she also played with the suede and the smooth side. And yeah, they're 3 completely different bags. Even though they're the same design, and I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the color, and I think it really suits me, and I've been using it a lot. It fits a water bottle it also fits my bullet journal, which I use as a diary, calendar, catch-all, because baby brain is a thing, and if I don't write it down, I will forget it. But this was the first time I was working with a leather sewing machine, and it was really fun, and I'll actually show you a little clip and some pictures of the process. And now I really want one of those big leather sewing machines because they're super cool. And I'm not gonna get one just now because the big commercial ones, they're like set in a table and it's a whole thing. But it was so much fun. So if you're in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands, I highly recommend taking a workshop. They have many, many colors. They're very nice. It's a cool location. And it was really fun. So that was my first finished object. Alright. My second finished object, you have seen before, but I do not have with me because it's already gifted. And usually there's a warning right now that Marjolein, if you don't want to see your wedding present, you should not watch right now. But it's already gifted, so you can watch. I've already gifted it, so I can't show you, but I can show you some pictures that I took. I wanted to pre-record a bit about the quilt, but then I lost my voice, and the scramble to get ready or done with all my work before my maternity leave was very real. So I did not have any time to pre-record a bit about the quilt, but there are some pictures. I think it is the best quilt top sewing, so patchwork sewing, I've ever done. But as you might be able to see right now, somewhere here, the sandwiching of the quilt, I need to find a better way. So I don't like, I've never used spray basting, and I don't think it's smart because for me right now in this situation, because I can't do it outside, also pregnant, aerosols, bad lungs, not quite sure. So what I did is I taped down the back on the floor, I put batting on top of it, and then I'll put the quilt top on it, and I safety pin it all together. But it involves a lot of crawling around on the floor, and as you might be able to see in the footage, I almost dislocated my knee because it does that sometimes because I'm hypermobile, and pregnancy makes me more hypermobile. And I almost wrecked my knee in the process. All worth it, but I'm actually going to close, hold on, the curtain. Let's see if this is, well, it is better. So yeah, I almost wrecked my knee in the process. All worth it though, but bit painful. And then I quilted it, of course, on my machine, which was quite difficult because the batting I chose was, what would you call it? It's a 300 grams batting, so it was quite lofty. And because of that, I found that I had a lot of issues with like puckering, I guess you would call it. So the quilt design I first thought was do like an echo of every scene, but I tried that in the middle and it kind of all bunched up and puckered, so I had to rip it all back out. And then I just did stitch in a ditch for every square, and then I added some cross beams, I guess, so it's machine washable still. And yeah, I think it's the coolest quilt I've yet made. It's also, I've completed 2 quilts. I'm hand quilting the bed quilt for my parents right now, and this is the 4th quilt I've started, and the 3rd I've finished. And it was really fun, really happy with my choices for colors, and yeah, I've tested it. Kitty has also tested it, and it's really nice and warm, and I think it's the perfect couch quilt. So you can wrap it around you, or you can put it over your legs. 2 people can fit under it if you sit up straight. So yeah, very happy with it. The pattern is the Reflections quilt by Susie Quilts. And I'm a big fan of Susie Quilts because she has very modern designs, and she has a nice selection between easy and more complicated patchwork. And I think she just makes really cool things. All right. That is the second finished object, but wait, there's more, which I will get for you. Hold on. So this is the Elodie Wrap dress, and I will take a proper picture of it because this doesn't really do it any justice. But this is the dress I made for my friend's wedding, which I was invited to. And I have many dresses, but none of them fit over the torso anymore. So I had to make a new dress. And I had this fabric that do I have scraps here? Yeah, so this is the fabric. It's See You at 6. That's the brand. It's viscose, and the print is called Oriental Garden. And I saw this last year on a sewing day, and I really liked it, but I was too shy to ask what it was. So I scoured the internet, and then I found that it was actually the year before's collection from See You at 6. And then eventually I found a web shop in Belgium that still had, I think, 3 meters. So I bought everything, and I also bought it in a canvas. I got 2 meters for canvas, and I'm not sure if I want to make a bag out of it or dungarees. I think maybe a bag, or use it as an accent in a bag. But anyways, I really liked the design, and I made the Elodie Wrap dress by Closet Core Patterns. I made a straight size 18. Usually I am 14 or 16 depending on the bust measurements for a pattern, but because my rib cage has kind of expanded and there's obviously a baby, and the boobage has also grown, I decided to make a size 18 based on my full bust measurement. And because it's a wrap dress, I wasn't really worried about it not fitting. If I had the time, I would have played around with the pattern, because this pattern, and I'll show you a line drawing of the pattern, it's meant to cinch in at a natural waist. I do not have a natural waist at the moment because baby. So if I would have had the time, I would have raised the front bodice a little bit so that it would actually stop at the thinnest part of me right now, which is about, so I would have wanted it to cinch in here and actually stop, but because it's a wrap dress and it's kind of flowy and viscose, I didn't do that, and I just wrapped it. I'll show you a picture of me in it, and it was really lovely. I really liked wearing it. I really liked the pattern instructions as well. Closet Core Patterns always has pretty clear instructions. It's not on par with Helen's closet patterns, which I think Helen has the best instructions. Well, the most thorough instructions, because what is best, what do you like best? But yeah, it was very clear. If I would make it again, and I would have had the time, I would have raised the bodice for this occasion. On the other hand, I think it's more wearable now, or durable, because now once baby is gone and there will be some sort of waist again, I think it will still fit me really well. And yeah, one of the things I did, which I would like to show you, is I cut this pattern out on the fold because cutting has become, it's very tiresome for some reason. And you're supposed to cut this pattern out flat because of the skirt pieces. They're quite wide and it doesn't fit on a narrow fabric, which I found out. But instead of cutting it out on the flat, I cut it out on the fold, and I just did some piecing. And you can't really even see it. So there's a school class coming. But I did some piecing right here. You can see it on the inside. So I just added a wedge of fabric, and that worked just fine. We'll wait until the kids leave. I'm gonna see where the kids are at. Right, I think we're good. So these were a work in progress last time, but I actually finished the second and a third, and well, I don't know where the work in progress is. Well, regardless. So I finished these, and I still don't really know how to pronounce it. It's Spanish Hiedra mitts by Fiber Tales, and I finished the first pair, and there's some, I wove in all the ends, but I still have to cut them because I still have to block them. But these are the mitts, and there's a second one with a very long tail, but you can this one is the smaller size, but I have quite small hands. And are gifts for various family members. So for my second pair, I went with a bigger size, and I could actually, well, I can't really compare because they're both rights. Hold on, I can compare. Just don't mind the ends. So this is the size small, with many ends, and this is the larger size. They are knit in drops Nepal mix. So these are these, and this is the here it's just a number, color 8905, but I think it's called green something. Oh, we lost light, but it's really nice. And then the gray is color 27. Oh no, that's drops air. I don't know what the gray is called, or I do. Yes, I do. No, I don't. This is just light gray. This is the seagrass green, whatever. And I really like them. I've started the second one, so we've finished the finished objects and we've moved into works in progress because the second one of this one is on its way. I'm gonna see if I can open a curtain again, because then we have some better light to show you things, which would be nice. Let's see how this works. No, it doesn't work. Well, sorry. or just working with the circumstances. I've also been working on my no frills sweater, but there has been no real progress on the no frills sweater because I just keep it in my bag when I go out. And I've been way too busy with work to be able to pull it out during meetings and stuff. And there's another class. Let's see what they are doing. Then on to the MKAL, which I keep in my homemade bag. It's a bucket bag I just whipped up. If you don't want any spoilers, skip to the next chapter. But I'm on clue 4. Well, I didn't finish clue 3 yet because I'm lazy, but I'm on clue 4 and I'm so ready to be done. Like, I like where it's going, but dear Lord, I am done with knitting stripes. I just want it to be done and I want to wear it. So let's see if I can show you where I'm at. So, this part is clue 1. Then the big wedges and the cables is clue 3. Is it? Clue 2. Then there's these long parts, which was part of clue 3, and it's actually the first time I have done these traveling stitches, like traveling, do you call them traveling stitches or cables, or I think they're traveling stitches. They're pretty cool. It's the first time I've done that. It's also the first time I've done antler, so many cat hairs, antler cables, which are these. And then I still have to add like ribbons of, what do you call them? Ribbons of what you make the edge of. I forgot the name of it. Wait, I know. I don't know. I forgot what it's called. But in the accent color, which is blue, this blue for me, you're supposed to add like ribbons through the antlers to give it a pop. And then clue 4 is adding these stripes to the long ribbons that you made. And yeah, I like where it's going. I just want it to be done, but it's not done yet. I've been behind on like the weeks from week 1 because it took me a week and a half to finish clue 1, and by that time I was a half a week behind on the clues, and then I just kind of decided to not try and keep up because it's a lot of knitting and I was in the last weeks of work, and yeah, preparing for maternity leave has been very stressful because the man who's substituting for me, he wasn't hired until the very last moment, so I didn't get to meet him in person at all. So I had to prepare everything. Of course I had to prepare everything and make everything ready for somebody to take over, but then also I couldn't just explain to him where I was, so I had to write everything down and make sure that all loose ends were kind of tied up and stuff. So yeah, it was very stressful. And then this Monday I woke up at 10 to 8 with an enormous text and email from my sub from my sub, which was not the way I wanted to start my maternity leave, but okay. Okay, so we talked about all my works in progress. Of course, I'm also still working on the quilt for my parents. I'm hand quilting right now, which I just do on Tuesdays when I'm at my parents', and I try to do like a column a day when I'm there. So we talked about my works in progress, my finished objects. My sewing machine actually is right now having a spa week, I guess. I've had it for 2 years, and I have the Pfaff Ambition 620, which is turquoise, which is the main reason I got it. I really hope you can't hear all this yelling. If you can, I will re-record because it's playtime at the playground. So yeah, my machine, I've had it for 2+ years and it's never been serviced. And after all the sewing I've done recently, it started to sound kind of crunchy. So I decided to send it for some TLC. So it's at the surface man right now. I also, for the first time since I finished it, washed my Dreyma sweater, which is a pattern by Jennifer Steingass, and I've knitted it in Let Lopi. And usually I just air out my sweaters, but after 2 years of wear, it had developed a little smell. So I washed it, and while I was washing it, I will actually show you, because I'm intrigued on what you think. So it's still drying, so it's slightly damp, but this is a sweater. I really like it, but don't know if you can see in the armpit. Oh, I don't think you can see, but there's some slight felting in the armpits, which I guess is normal because there's a lot of movement there. Should I be worried about that? I don't know. It's the first sweater. This is the first big thing I've ever knitted, after like some hats. It's the first sweater I've ever knit, and never had anything for this long in so much use, so I don't know. Should I be worried about felting in the armpits? Is it because of friction? Is it because of, I don't know, sweat? If you know, let me know. I'll just put it back because it's still slightly damp. But yeah, so an exciting thing just came in. My Advent box from Studio Solas. I'm very excited about it. It's been staring at me for 2 days, but I'll have to wait until December 1st for it. It's, I think the theme is natural dyes and eco printing this year. Really excited. They're all sold out now, so if you want one, I hope you have one. I recently bought some new needles, some Chowgu needles, which was quite an investment because they're like $15 per needle set. But I bought 2 sizes and a new cord to start my, what is it called? Sea Breeze cardigan, which I talked about before, which is by Andrea Mowry. Didn't buy anything else. I still have a lot of gift knits to get through. I want to do some baby knits. I want to make the Selma sleep suit at least, and some baby capes or like towels, for which I have all the materials, and I want to make a baby quilt, but I need my sewing machine back for that. And I wanted to stop because I think we've talked about everything. I wanted to end by giving you some recommendations. One thing I forgot to mention about MKAL is that I'm not gonna do it exactly as written. I think I'm gonna follow Ruth of the Knitting Hobbit, because clue 4 includes some more chevrons, and I think they're too pointy. So I'll do her modification, which I will link down below because she wrote it down in a Revelry page. And Ruth over it, she has a podcast as well. It's called The Knitting Hobbit, and it's really nice. She's also a Dutch-based knitter, and she knits a lot. And she has a really nice podcast. So if you don't know her yet, go check her out. Also, another recommendation is Anna from the Bluebird Box. I never know if you're supposed to say Bluebird Box Podcast or Bluebird Box Podcast. I guess it's Bluebird Box Podcast. She is a Canadian woman, and she's a knitwear designer, and she has a podcast, and she has a really calm demeanor. And last episode, she actually... I'm pretty sure I have to re-record this, but we'll see. Last episode, she actually ended her podcast with a little... she read out loud a picture book. And one of my joys in life is being read to. So that was really nice to just sit and knit with her for a bit while she read us a story about Christmas, I guess. Yeah. I really hope that the sound was okay. If the sound was not okay, I'll just re-record and wait for Sunday morning. Other than that, I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying what you're working on. And I hope to see you soon, because now I'm on maternity leave. I have more time to sit and knit. And so, once I've got my machine back. So, yeah. I'm going to put on my headphones now, because this is getting very loud. And I'll see you all soon. Keep well.